What's up, everybody, and welcome to my Impact Wrestling review. A lot of things going on in the show tonight. The title tournament begins, or the number one contender for the Impact. We all know that the title match of Rebellion did not happen, so we're doing a tournament for some reason, for a number one contender shot. A match that, well, I should say this tournament shouldn't really be happening because Michael Elgin is still the number one contender and he never wrestled for that title. But basically, there's a lot of tournaments going on in wrestling right now to eat up time during this entire virus and everything, empty arena and whatnot. So, yes, that's why we got another tournament going on tonight. But we do kick it off as the Impact intro did happen. For some reason, we got Moose that showed up, basically hijacking the intro, wanting his own intro that even got the original the TNA voiceover guy, the guy that has always voiced over the TNA pay-per-views in the past. If you know who that is, basically he sounds like James Earl Jones most of the time, but he's pretty good. So they played this entire video package of Moose, talking about he's the most dominant TNA World Champion, and put him up in, with many big names that have won the TNA World title, from AJ Styles to Sting to Kurt Angle, Samoa Joe, Jeff Hardy, Bobby Lashley, and, multiple clips of EC3, Eddie Edwards, and Bully Ray and all them. And what got me is that they're playing clips of, guys that have worked in TNA before. Basically, I know what the video clips they took from, because this is when they put Sting in, that TNA Hall of Fame back in about 2012, because I remember his video package, and most of those clips were from that, because then it's like they had him, like, kind of talking about Moose, but it wasn't, I know it was reading about Sting. They just kind of edited out, because they had, like, Daniels and Kazarian, Bobby Roode, Jeff Hardy, Bully Ray talking, Hulk Hogan, Dixie Carter, and all them, trying to talk about how great Moose is, and as he is a champion right now. Like I said, I know where they got those clips from, but I actually thought it was pretty funny how they were just trying to put Moose over like he's one of the biggest names in TNA history. And at the end of the video, you hear Moose saying, like, this is all paid for by Moose, the Moose Corporation, or whatever it was, just to get him over. This whole video package was played for him. So I actually liked that in the beginning. That was pretty funny. Just since he's holding the TNA World title now, which is forever, whatever reason this is, but I'd rather take him as the champion than Tessa Blanchard right now. At least I could look at Moose as a world champion, but it makes no sense why he has this belt, though. But we do kick off the show with a tournament match, Madman Fulton versus Hernandez. I think you all know who's going to win this match, given OVE's losing streak right now that is continuing. Even with OVE out there helping, Hernandez still was able to get the job done and hit Madman Fulton with a splash to beat him in this match. So, like I said, OVE is still on this big losing streak right now, which they're not really catching a break. So there is still a story behind that. Hernandez, he moves on. He'll probably lose in the next round anyways, but it wasn't a bad match or anything. It's that you know who's going to win this, because they went to, OVE pretty much pissed off, and even one of Chris brothers saying that we're not world championship material. Crazy Steve walked by with his little toy that had a mask on, talking about that OVE is OVER over. OVE got pissed. They threatened to punch him. He says, "You got that? Not even a madman can lead a flock." They got all pissed off. The Chris brothers said they were gonna kick his ass next week and everything. So yeah, Crazy Steve even calling them out now. I believe Crazy Steve just signed a contract, if I heard, with them today with Impact. So at least he is kind of back with Impact on a contract now. Hopefully we see Decay back, but I only got 2 members on the show now, no Abyss. But next Joseph Ryan, or Joey Ryan, resident idiot himself, talking about, did you say the C word? He doesn't like the word crazy and everything. It's against crazy people. So yeah, still trying to do this whole cancel culture, whatever thing he's doing out there. Like I said, it's better than seeing that stupid dick flipping bullshit. But I don't know, man. Joey Ryan is just whatever. Joey Ryan, if you ask me. But moving on into the show, though, Kylie Ray went against Tasha Steelz. I've seen Tasha Steelz before, and NWA, I've seen her. I don't know if she was on their contract or what that was, but I did see her a little in the NWA. Good match, I will say that. Basically, just kind of a showcase for Kylie Ray here. Kylie Ray picking up the win with her STF on Tasha Steelz. So, not a bad match. Kind of dare to be there, but it wasn't that bad. So, it was pretty enjoyable. But next, though, on this show, we had... Was it another tournament match next? Match. Pretty solid, I will say that. Kimberly pretty much winning with the brass knuckles, because they did show that Nevaeh girl once again in the crowd. Well, I shouldn't say crowd, but somewhere near the the entrance ramp, and and over the barricade and everything, just watching the match. Kimberly got some brass knuckles. I don't even know where she got the brass knuckles from, but she ended up hitting Havoc, pretty much beating her, which gives Havoc an out, since she got hit by brass knuckles inside the ring. So this does, give her a way out. But a good debut for Kimberly. Like I said, I don't know if she's under contract with the company and that, but not a bad match between her and Havoc. Like I said, I've seen Kimberly wrestle before, so she's not bad. But moving on, though, what else do we have here? Yes, this was something. I guess it went back to the locker room talk segments with Madison Rayne and Johnny Swinger. The guest they had on there today was Ken Shamrock. Ken Shamrock was basically talk about the tournament that was going on. He didn't want to shake Swinger's hand. If you know the little history they had behind that before, I can see why. After what Swinger put crap in his bag or something, and Shamrock took out Swinger. I think I remember that he took out Swinger at a point in time, but Michael came in the room and hit he hit Ken Shamrock like a pipe to the head or something, and he concerto him because Michael Elgin did make a threat earlier, which I've said before. Why is he even in this tournament when he's the #1 contender? And now he says he vows to take out everybody in the tournament and send them to the hospital. So Michael Elgin is basically on some rampage right now to take out anybody that gets in his way, because he feels like he should not have to do this tournament since he, is already the #1 contender to this whole thing. But, like I said, not a bad, I shouldn't even say not a bad, like I said, Elgin just looks like, make him look like a beast out there as usual. We got another Kiera Hogan promo video, pretty much talking about how basically her come up in the wrestling again, and how she's been doing for the past 5 years, that she's Kiera Hogan, that she is the girl on fire. So at least they're doing more promo vignettes on her, trying to get her over. At least again, giving her some type of a spotlight now. I do like that. So that is pretty good for Kiera Hogan. Like I said, they're making her into something I see now. Like we've seen Kiera Hogan before, but okay, this must be a bit of somewhat of a reset. Maybe I want to say reset all the way, but something. I guess they're trying to get you to know her or something. I'm trying to sound this out right, but they're trying to get her over. I will say that for Kiera Hogan. So I do like the little promo videos. She's from Atlanta, so like I said, they show various bad drops in Atlanta, like they did last week. So, like I said before, she says she's the girl on fire. So another good promo video they've had for Kiera Hogan. But next on the show, what did we have next? Well, the Rohit Raju pretty much cut a promo talking about where he is right now. Talking about for 3 years he's been in this company. He doesn't have a T-shirt or doesn't have a poster or anything around this company. Talk about he's been here. It's been a joke for the past 3 years that management wouldn't even look him in the eye. But now he's here to prove himself tonight. He says that finally he's getting his shot. There is no more Desi Hit Squad. It is now the Desi Hitman himself, and he's gonna pretty much win this tournament and become the world heavyweight champion. And pretty much, like he said last week, that his mother called him a son because he shines just like one. So I do like that line. That was pretty good. He said that last week, but that wasn't a bad line, no. But he ended up going against Trey of the Rascals. This is a very good match between Raju and Miguel out there. Pretty good. I kind of figured Trey was gonna win. Trey ended up winning by a roll up over Rohit Raju, so it wasn't like just a clean loss out the way. I know Raju looked pissed off after that, but it looks like at least they're trying to get him somewhere now, since he's been basically a comedy job guy with the Desi Hit Squad, but now they're trying to make him into something serious. I never really had no intention of him moving on to winning this tournament or something, but at least they're doing something with this guy to try to get him over, I will say that. So at least something good is happening for him and they're making him a little bit more serious out there. So I want to see more from Raju, this version of him now, because before he was just losing everybody part of the Desi Hit Squad and getting slapped around by Gama Singh most of the time. So good on him. Next though, we got, I'm trying to see what segment happened. I know they had something with Cody Deaner. Once again, he's still in quarantine, saying he can't give her 2 different wrestlers and start yelling at the phone and wrestling these puppets or whatever he had in his trailer just to pass the time. So Cody Deaner trying to get something going on with him since he's stuck in quarantine during this whole virus and whatnot. They then went back to the North then, who were still in Canada. I guess they have to have another challenge. The North came out. Josh Alexander looked pissed because I didn't think he wanted to do this. And, Ethan Page says, listen, man, sorry for last week, but listen, we're going to bring in some credible opponents this time. We know you didn't like last week, but we're going to do something. We're going to do something good this week, okay? We're going to have some legit opponents because Josh Alexander looked like he didn't want to be there. But they brought these 2 job guys called the Smos, I believe, and this ring announcer that they had out there pretty much announced everybody, but Ethan Page got this big over-the-top intro, man of 1,000 and something holds, and even Josh Alexander said, that's some Rocky, and he says, well, it's a poly, that's copyright, right? And, he just looked at the screen and kind of breaking the fourth wall, but they did have this match against these 2 job guys, which was pretty funny with them just beating them up, sometimes breaking the fourth wall. They beat the crap out these guys, and, Josh Alexander, I know he showed his move like 3 freaking times on there after he did it once, but Ethan Page said, let's do our finish. They do their finishing move on these guys still winning. Josh Alexander, once again, just looked like he didn't want to keep doing this most of the time, but hey, I guess they gotta do something while they're stuck in quarantine. They're gonna defend the titles in one way or another. Ethan Page is just having fun throughout all of this thing. It looks like and he's canned. It's funny he doing these canned in chants that saying "This is awesome" or Impact Wrestling or some type of laugh fake crowd reaction track, just going off for whatever reason. They went back to Rosemary at the bar then, who had that dog that Taya carries around, Mr. Mundo. Pretty much says, you and the bunny are quiet. You're better than the last ones that she used to have around her. I guess they talk too much, but these guys are a little bit more quieter. But Johnny Bravo came back to get the, Mr. Mundo, saying you can't have him. And he says, this smells like Taya. And Rosemary said, how do you know what Taya smells like? Yes, he's been around Taya long enough, man. I guess they asked if you miss Taya. Said, yeah, but, she calls hair off so, no one wouldn't catch that virus and everything. So he takes the dog and leaves. Rosemary pretty much looked for a second, I guess, talked to her inner voice and says, him? No. Him? Nah. So I guess she didn't want to go with whatever this was going. I guess she's still looking for that soul. And I guess doesn't want to be Johnny Bravo or whatnot. Chris Bay was talking to Johnny Swinger in the back, talking about how the Mac was talking a whole bunch of mess about him, dissing him, everything. You need to go take care of that. Basically, Chris Bay finessed them, and then, Johnny Swinger went to yell at Mac, saying, like, you want to come around and talk about me? Listen, I was this tag team. I'm the Shawn Michaels of this tag team, all right? I'm going to give you a Royal Humble and everything, and, we got a match next week after what you said about the Mac and Pac. The Mac looked very confused, and he said, this fool's stupid. So I guess it will be a match between those two next week. But in the main event, we got Suicide versus Moose. Why? I have literally no clue, okay? Listen, the match wasn't bad, and apparently this was for the TNA World title because Moose made Dave Penzer get in the ring and announce him to that this title was about to be defended. Listen, it wasn't a bad match or anything. I'm not going against that, but listen, who wants to see Suicide in the main event, okay? And I know they mentioned he was the video game character at one point. I don't even know if TJ Perkins is even under the mask at this point, but listen, I don't really need to see Suicide. I wonder how they keep bringing Suicide back. I have no idea, okay? I don't mind Moose doing this whole TNA, being the champion or whatever, I guess. And I did like the intro with the voiceover of just trying to put him over, which was pretty cool. I thought that was funny, but do I need to see him face Suicide in the main event of this show? Not really. Do I need to see Suicide back in general? No, because they kept mentioning, well, he was from the PlayStation 2 game back then. And like, yeah, PlayStation 2 was a very, very long time ago. Trust me, you still have mine at this point. But we've all moved on to PS4s now, or whatever new console is out, like Xbox One, I should say, before the new ones come out this winter. But, yeah, they keep talking about a guy from a PS2 video game. So, I have no idea why they keep mentioning that. Makes no sense. But like I said, it wasn't a bad match or anything, but I don't need to see Moose versus Suicide, or I just don't need to see Suicide anymore in the show. But hey, we're working on a weak crew. We don't have a lot of people, but so that's what you're gonna get, as much as you can get out of these shows nowadays with these skeleton crews, as they call it. But Impact, not a bad show. I thought the whole TNA Moose thing was pretty funny at the beginning. I did like that. The tournament matches were okay. I like the Rohit Raju and Trey Miguel one more. OVE are still on a losing streak. I enjoy Elgin beating up Shamrock on the show. Even Callahan cutting his promo on him. I think I forgot to mention that on Elgin. Talk about, Big Mike failure, because they will have a match with each other next week. I like the Kiera Hogan promo videos. The North I actually find funny to whatever they're doing with this whole, we're in Canada doing whatever we can right now to defend the titles. So since they can't really make the travel and everything, so they're doing that. Like I said, not some bad stuff tonight. In the debut, Kimberly was pretty good. Also in-ring debut, I should say, between her and Havoc and this Nevaeh girl still looking on. But other than that, though, that's my review of Impact. I'm going to roll from here. See you guys later. Comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think about this show tonight or this tournament. Or do you think this tournament should even be going in general? Even though this is just to eat up time until whenever throughout this entire pandemic virus, okay? But other than that, though, that's my review. I'm out here. I'll see you guys later, and I will be back tomorrow night for a review of AEW and NXT. So I'm out here. See you guys later. Peace out.